The air in the NXT arena crackled with a familiar yet newly intensified energy. The signature entrance music of the new North American champion, Oba Femi, had hit, and the colossal Nigerian phenom emerged from the back, the gold around his waist gleaming under the harsh stage lights. But this wasn't a victory lap. There was no celebratory swagger in his step, only a chilling, purposeful intent. The crowd, still buzzing from the night's earlier action, fell into a curious, anticipatory hush. They sensed this was more than an appearance. It was a statement. Oba Femi moved to the center of the ring, a monument of sculpted muscle and quiet dominance. He didn't need a microphone. His presence was his proclamation. He held the North American Championship aloft, not for the adulation of the crowd, but as a visual testament to his raw, undeniable power. This was the title he had shockingly cast in his men's breakout tournament contract to win, and he had defended it with the terrifying finality of a closing vault. He was the undeniable king of the midcard, a force of nature that had thus far been contained to his own orbit. But orbits in the world of NXT have a way of colliding. The atmosphere shifted, soured, and then was replaced by a slick, self-congratulatory rhythm. Out walked Ricky Starks, a man who carries himself with the unshakable confidence of someone who believes his own hype is a tangible force field. Dripping in designer swagger, a smirk plastered on his face, Starks sauntered down the ramp, his own microphone in hand, ready to command the spotlight as he always does. He slid into the ring, the picture of cool, and began to speak. He talked about his impact on NXT, about the revolution he was leading, about how the brand needed a star of his caliber to elevate it. He spoke in circles around his own greatness, a verbal vortex designed to pull all attention toward the absolute center that is Ricky Starks. For a few minutes, it was the Ricky Starks show, and the silent champion in the ring was merely a prop. Oba Femi didn't move. He didn't flinch. He didn't react to the insults veiled as compliments or the subtle dismissals of his title reign. He simply stood, his eyes, like dark pools of obsidian, locked onto Starks. He absorbed the words not as a listener, but as a predator assessing the chirps of its prey. As Stark's monologue began to wind down, he took a step closer, gesturing toward the title, his voice dripping with condescending ambition. "And that," he declared, pointing at the gold, "is just a beginning for a star like me. It's a stepping stone to the real prize." That was the moment the silence became a weapon. In one fluid, terrifying motion, Oba Femi took a single step forward. He didn't lunge, he didn't shout, he simply invaded Stark's space, his shadow engulfing the smaller man. The air was sucked out of the arena. The smirk on Ricky Starks' face didn't just fade, it shattered. It was replaced by a flicker of something the absolute star rarely shows: primal, undiluted fear. Starks, for all his verbal dexterity and street-tough bravado, was frozen. His eyes widened as he craned his neck to look up into the impassive granite face of the champion. The microphone in his hand felt suddenly useless, a toy in the face of this immovable object. The cool, collected revolutionary was gone, replaced by a man realizing he was standing toe-to-toe with the tsunami. For what felt like an eternity, they held the pose, the unstoppable force, meeting the very movable object. Oba Femi's gaze communicated volumes without a single word. It was a challenge, a warning, and a promise of violence all rolled into one. This was his kingdom. That was his title. And Ricky Starks was just another contender in a long line of men who would learn that lesson the hard way. Finally, Oba Femi slowly turned, the silent statement made. He exited the ring, leaving a shaken Ricky Starks alone in the spotlight, a spotlight that now felt cold and exposed. The confrontation was over without a single punch being thrown, but the message was clearer than any promo could ever be. In NXT, there are talkers and there are destroyers. And on this night, the destroyer had just spoken the most eloquent language of all.